We continue our aluminum special with the most popular aluminum product, aluminum cans. The next time you buy a canned soft drink, consider this. That aluminum can will always be recyclable. Unlike plastic, aluminum never deteriorates, no matter how often it's melted down and used again. As opposed to rock or scissors-based aluminum, aluminum cans are most often made from huge sheets of paper aluminum. This sheet is about 6 feet tall, roughly the size of a short American man, and is long enough to make at least 10 to 20 soda cans. The sheet feeds into a humper that thrusts out round pieces that will be formed into cans. The aluminum discs are bent by the humper into a cup, and are modeled by a hand model who really needs to go back to hand modeling school. The aluminum highway speed limit is 140 miles per hour. Meanwhile, on Mount Alumina, the pilgrimage of recycling is forever ongoing as life and death never cease for any man or metal. The cup is properly lubed up and slotted into a machine which allows them to explore their new holes properly with a second humper. The tool is also lubricated so it won't tear the aluminum while stretching it, which is a real unedited line from the original script. The lubricant also acts as a coolant, because things get a little steamy while this vigorous pumping is occurring. Go get 'em, Tiger! Once the aluminum's hole is ruined, a trimmer cleans and straightens the edge. This is how you practice drinking. Congestion on the aluminum highway is a pressing issue despite its accelerated speed limit. Aluminum City Council has been convening for months, but so far no progress has been made. Because they're all inanimate objects. The can washer performs a 6-stage cleaning, where the first stage is to clean the cans in hydrofluoric acid, while the next 5 are to wash off the highly corrosive and dangerous hydrofluoric acid they've been covered with. They're now shiny because our camera operator finally cleaned his lens. And traffic on the highway is flowing because they followed human beings' examples and finally learned to stop texting while driving. Just kidding, that will never happen. This is all a coincidence. A roller coats the bottom of the cans in blue safety paint, marking that the can has been thoroughly sanitized and is safe to drink from. If the bottom of your can is missing this mark, it may contain poisonous metals. The cans are now ready for labeling. The hyperspeed spinning isn't necessary for this process, but the factory workers wanted to really jazz things up for the cameras. These cans are being labeled with the most popular brand of cola in the world, Sam's Choice. If you thought a different brand is more popular, you're a dumb fucking moron. Sometimes during busier production months, the factory will shift into maximum overdrive. The after images result in 4 more cans per can. Oh shit, did you see that? One of those cans said Satan's Choice on it. That's gonna be a real huge blunder if it's shipped down to the Bible Belt. The next machine sprays a water-based water on the inside of the cans. This creates a water barrier between the drink and the aluminum, so the drink will be a water instead of aluminum. The soda can scream machine is fully operational from now until the winter season. The cans now have a neck because of this machine, and they don't stick it out for nobody. The next machine, called the pullover edge at the top of the neck machine, forms a pullover edge at the top of the can's neck. Night vision cameras capture all the raunchy debauchery the cans get up to in the middle of the night. They may look neat and orderly, but what you see here is a gigantic tower of sluts. From here, the cans expertly slap on a strap-on and move to the drink manufacturer to be filled and sealed with a pull tab. Don't go anywhere, there's even more aluminum coming up right after this. Are you tired, fatigued, exhausted, feeling run down, feeling perfectly fine, unexplained weight loss, unexplained weight gain, nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea, head, shoulders, knees and toes. If these or any other symptoms apply to you, and even if they don't, consider Huggbees Gamer Mode. Huggbees Gamer Mode, the second best channel on YouTube, because it's the second Huggbees channel. Join Huggbees and his pals as they play video games in a regularly uploaded podcast-style format, featuring thousands of hours of free entertainment designed to keep you laughing and to help pay the bills when the crushing forces of copyright claims and demonetization threaten to destroy the artistic passions of the world's most beloved creator.
This video you're watching right now was instantly copyright claimed. I'm not kidding. I'm living in a capitalist nightmare.
Huggbees Gamer Mode, because you should always make the right choice for you and support the one man you know is better than you. Side effects may include We continue our aluminum special with the most popular aluminum product, aluminum foil. Aluminum foil has a multitude of uses, from heating something up in the oven to keeping something cold in the fridge. But have you ever wondered how a huge block of solid aluminum gets transformed into a paper sheet of foil? No? Well, too bad. Fresh ingots of aluminum are picked daily from a farm and shipped to this factory, which thins them out into foil. We begin by awakening the furnace giant and stuffing large piles of ingots into his eyes as a ritualistic sacrifice to the god of things stored under the kitchen sink. While this is going on, chefs prepare the chili for today's employee lunch break. A portion of melted aluminum is poured into a shot glass to create a test sample. The aluminum hardens in just seconds, becoming impossible to drink, so this makes a great prank to play at parties when you scream, "Hey, who wants to do shots?" A moat of molten aluminum keeps the factory safe from invading barbarians. Badass Gary, with his trench coat blowing in the breeze, is one of the few capable of working at this factory, as he can simultaneously swap out the aluminum molds while calmly but sternly telling invading barbarians to stop all of their nonsense. After filtration and a cooling water bath, the aluminum ingots have now become aluminum ingots. An ingot is about 14 feet tall, a foot taller than the average American man, and needs special cranes to lower itself into bed without breaking it, just like the average American man. This crust-removing machine, created by a very picky peanut butter and jelly bitch, creates a perfectly smooth exterior for the ingot, freeing it of impurities. Squeegeeing the ingot isn't necessary, but some employees just enjoy doing it. Sometimes the ingots are actually metal coffins, and your foil ends up as 20% dead person. Now the ingot is crushed between two hot metal rollers. Oh fuck! Oh fuck, it's stuck! Get it out, get it out, get it out of there! Oh, thank God. Oh, don't put it back in, Jesus Lord. I've seen enough caving videos to know where this is going. If the rollers pressurize a particularly attractive ingot, the rollers will come. Now that pregnancy is assured, so there's no need to be careful anymore, the ingot becomes thinner and thinner with each crushing pass-through. The ingot will pass through this system about 12 to 16 times, with a 15-minute refractory period in between. By this point, the ingot measures about 4 inches thick and about 20 feet in length, which is yet another hilarious sexual reference. The ingot is now finally thin enough to ride the foil go-round, which isn't nearly as exciting as the soda can scream machine, but has a much lower nausea and intensity rating. The foil's thickness is measured with a Lufkin. If it's still too thick by this point, someone is going to be shot. In any case, it's off to the steam machine for one final flattening at 4K 60 FPS for quality control. The sheet is now a big steamy log, and risks being easy to break because it's very thin. so a second sheet is applied to thicken up the original sheet. A second seminal fluid is used to lubricate the foil. Which animal does it come from? I'm not telling. And now, a beautiful montage of the foil being re-rolled for all you foil enthusiasts out there. Don't think those people exist? Just remember, plenty of people spend tens of thousands of dollars on pieces of foiled cardboard just because there's a picture of an old Pokemon on them in a plastic case. Or they really need their friends to see that they can buy the most expensive version available of a mass-marketed product. And now, if you'll excuse him, Badass Gary is going to go pleasure himself. We continue our aluminum special with the most popular aluminum product, bike wheels. Professional level bikes have wheels made out of strong but lightweight materials like carbon fiber or aluminum. Advanced bike wheels have tubing and spokes, shaped as aerodynamically as possible to lower wind resistance. This ghost-ridden whip features elite racing wheels made of aluminum, designated to generate a smooth ride with optimal responsiveness. The starting material is long straight tubes of Despair aluminum. Why don't you just watch what happens next in this super obvious part, because I've been talking about aluminum for around 30 minutes straight and I need a goddamn break. After making sure this metal is aluminum 64 grade instead of aluminum entertainment system, the metal is loaded into a gaming metal console, complete with the latest in periodic table element 13 technology. The rims are cut, and just like you, are in desperate need for a bath, in a tank of acid. Get in the bath, dear viewer. Meanwhile, at a nearby hula hoop factory, Carlos is in charge of burying some very, very dark sins. Back at the bicycle wheel factory, oh, fuck! Okay, wasn't that bad? Oh, Jesus! Okay, everyone, you're gonna have to do the rest of the segment for me. We have no choice. It's either this or I leave to go to the hospital again, and with the prices of American healthcare, that's kind of just the worst decision anyone could ever make. We've got a Dora the Explorer this. Okay, kids, respectable viewing audience of mine, shout out what you see on screen now. Did you actually do any of that? Like, really, out loud, say what you're saying? You know I can't hear you, right? I'm blind. The welded wheels take a dip in liquid black to corrupt their souls and make them emotionless to the plights of riders who beg for relief from the god of burning quads. The wheels come in a wide variety of colors, including black, gray, and no color added. Bike wheel work can grow increasingly monotonous, so the factory record player puts on 80s speed metal to keep the workers radical. Meanwhile, in the Russian bathhouse next door, some analog horror type shit is going down. Meanwhile, on the prototype Death Star, the exhaust ports are covered in soapy water to prevent any rebel sabotage, except for these two right here, but Lord Vader says we can just ignore them. The next steps need to be done by hand, and require decades of experience from old, wizened bike wheel technicians. Entire schools have been built around these next steps, which include slotting the little plastic pieces and putting tiny screw caps in place. This may look like work that any high school dropout could do, but that's only because you know nothing of this $500 billion a year industry. While pieces of the wheel are all being assembled, a mysterious power is causing the metal pieces to be attracted to each other. Scientists are baffled. This technician plays with their nipples in order to properly attach the spokes to the wheel rim. There is no joke here. These attachment points on the wheel are called nipples, and they're used to attach the spokes to the wheel rim. You can look this up, it's true. The next time you go for a bike ride, feel free to tell people that you're just testing out your nipple endurance. You are technically not wrong. The next technician's job is to play with his nuts, twisting them until a satisfying amount of tension has been reached. The innuendo gauge is always off the charts in this part of the factory. As the credits roll far too early for like the 7th time in this series, 2 robots in the factory fall in love while quality testing a wheel. Their strange robotic mating dance will lead to a beautifully traditional relationship, 5 years of joy, 20 years of misery, and then a messy divorce that should have happened much sooner. We continue our aluminum special with the most popular aluminum product, screw caps. We're really grasping at straws here for the aluminum special, because we doubt there's a significant portion of the population that opened a screw cap off a bottle and said, I wonder how they make these. This next section is a perfect way to satisfy the curiosity of all 7 of you who care, and to entertain the rest of you who by this point are undoubtedly asleep, high, or both. Metal screw caps, the bottom of the barrel of collectibles and factory products alike. Often called proof of God's lack of existence or love for this world, screw caps like this come in hundreds of designs and 12 different sizes. The caps are made from literal gray rectangles. Even though they're aluminum, they're the most uninspiring thing you could ever look at. Coloring the gray rectangles doesn't enhance the fun factor, like how souping up a Honda Civic still has you driving a Honda Civic. The colored sheets enter a colored sheet Ferris wheel, which normally would be fun, but unfortunately has a name that reminds many people of racism. What kind of sick, fucked up world do we live in that even the hyperspeed rotating design printer can't get anyone excited because it's making screw caps? If we didn't clap and cheer for the previous cooler roller, there's no way on God's green earth we're going to do it for this one. Here's the finalized sheet with a dumb little crown to trick you into thinking screw caps are anything more than gutter trash. And here's the colors used that we're going to have to censor to prevent our audience from being deceived into thinking the world of screw caps has any joy whatsoever. The usage of the aluminum sheet drop slide might normally get people interested, but it's less than 150 feet tall here and is closed during all seasons. And now, the world's oldest screw cap magic trick. Absolutely astounding. In all other contexts, high-velocity piston fucking would potentially be exciting, but when you remember this machine is punching out that little bit used to close cheap wine bottles, checking your phone starts to be much more appealing. And now for the world's second oldest screw cap magic trick. This machine is called a stretching press, which actually is pretty interesting when you get into the never mind, god damn it, here comes another magic trick. False alarm, there is no fun to be had here. After another round in the stretching machine, the 12-gauge buckshot I'm going to use to blow my head off out of boredom is finally ready. Oh boy, it's another magic trick! Sometime later, over 1,000 years in the future, the automatic magic trick machine satisfies the needs of the planet's legion of screw cap enthusiasts. This machine includes the X5000 Mega Shotgun 8-round revolver, the universe's most devastating gun. Of course, I'm just kidding. That sounds like an amazing future, doesn't it? But for now, we're stuck watching the caps get painted by dull sludge. Even the cap roller coasters are boring. They look more like the lines to get to the coaster than the actual ride. But just like Escalator Land, this is the ride. Some caps try to end their lives once they realize their fate of mediocrity. But the collection bucket is there to force them to work long after they're dead, just like the typical American. This machine has a super cool name, and yet I can't even say it without yawning, cause, well, you know. Here's an unfinished cap. And here's a finished cap. How hard did your dopamine spike upon seeing this? I give up. Let's just fast forward this, you get the point. The caps are made of aluminum, and they get formed 1,000 times, and that's the end. I mean, come on. This is the aluminum special. Can we please, this one time, do something that's a little more adrenaline pumping? Please? Oh, hell yeah! Santa Claus has come early, because we continue our aluminum special with the most badass aluminum product available. Aircraft, bitch! The next time you go flying, remind yourself I'm currently sitting in a big tube made out of the same stuff as a soda can. And soda cans never ever crumble and are impossible to crush. The factory's aluminum is safeguarded over by a giant, who watches as an ancient roller machine casts incantations to straighten it out, just like Bible study camps do. At the next station, workers verify material thickness prior to running coil, and our video's subtitles become hilariously misaligned. The thickness of the aluminum sheet varies depending on the part being manufactured. They use the 3mm sheet of aluminum to make the cock instrument panel. Excuse me, I just misspoke. They use a 3mm sheet of aluminum to make the penis pit instrument panel, which first needs to be properly lubricated so a machine can go in and properly finish off the work that the men can't. The sheet is then thrown out and replaced with a pre-cut one from China. Here are the other pre-cut aluminum sheets for the plane, including this piece of Screaming Frog aluminum. Buster and Custard then handled the aluminum from here, and Custard wore his blurriest hat for the job. Buster handles bending the aluminum for its purpose, while Custard is mostly there for a moral support. Once the bend is complete, Buster grabs a bending tool to bend the material even further, because pre-bent Chinese aluminum hasn't been invented yet. Despite its protests, it's time for the aluminum to take a bath. If the aluminum doesn't do a thorough job of cleaning behind its non-existent ears, it will then be sprayed down with a fire hose. Once the parts are clean, it's time for them to take a bath. If that bath isn't enough to calm them down, chloroform will be applied by Piper. And if that doesn't work, a Gustavo Fring brand box cutter is the perfect tool to cut epoxy adhesive outlines for the parts. This double-sided ping pong paddle is the perfect stress reliever for the airline crew. Once each piece has its outline, Piper locks them away in a wall safe. He's not supposed to do this, but his hat is too cool for us to say no to him. The internal wing structure has all of its exterior pieces positioned and clamped and glued and welded and soldered and riveted and bolted and sucked and fucked and anchored and bonded and attached in place. The assembly is then sealed away in a reactor, so that its strange and mysterious techno-radiation processes can commence. Anyone in the factory looking for this reactor will mistake it for the clear sky outside because of its amazing camouflage. Meanwhile, at the factory playground, workers joyfully play on the brightly colored fuselage assembly toy, which gleefully spins for no reason in particular. Oh wait, it was just Strong Curtis taking his turn. It's time for the Best Plane Friends meeting hour to finally commence, where teams of good boys delicately apply sealant to the assembled airplane parts. This is done to pressurize the cabin, and was the inspiration for the David Bowie and Queen song, Pressurized Airplane Cabin. Then they attach the aluminum skin panel, which I wish I could do to myself because I keep getting hurt so often. It turns out there is no proper armor for emotional pain. Whoa, stock footage editor, my emotional pain isn't that bad, let's tone it down a notch, eh? The riveting of the skin begins with an exercise that really puts the phrase bros before hoes to the test. The fuselage is built in 6 sections. The Scoopy-Doopy section houses the engine compartment. Fingers, watch your fingers. The back half of the plane is entirely built using fade transition technology, and then is gently lowered onto comfortable Mike, the most relaxed man at the factory. Then this guy, whose name I don't remember, has to weld some parts together, and then can join his biker gang as they take the apocalyptic wasteland by storm. Nope, closed my eyes that time. You can't blind me again. I was ready for it. Why? Okay, it was just a little one. I just need a second. This is the worst episode I have ever done. On the other side of the factory, the Modern Art Museum has finally been installed. I think this piece represents poverty? Oh, wait, no, now that it's painted, it obviously represents consumerism. And now it's time for our government-mandated segment on the atomic bomb we dropped on Nagasaki. This gets mounted into every aluminum plane in case the pilot receives emergency orders from the president. Meanwhile, at MIT's physics department, the quest to trace the origins of the Big Bang continues undaunted. Oh, this isn't footage of that, this is just the team coordinating their McDonald's order. Ooh-wee, that cable management though. God damn, they just made this whole thing worth sitting through. Each aircraft is loaded with an onboard Atari 2600 to play the latest and greatest games, such as Calibrate AHRS Mag. It's a completely awful game that no one likes, but it's bundled free with the aircraft, so no one really complains. Newer aircraft models will also feature a built-in iPad, so that the pilots can watch Instagram Reels and TikTok instead of controlling the vehicle, just like the average American driver. The tablet also comes with an onboard technician who sleeps under the airplane console. A man fresh out of witness protection attaches the final parts of the wing by hand. This part is crucial for the plane to not fall out of the sky, and must be done by this man. He's very, very busy, but if you ask politely, he can probably schedule you in for this week. This plane is equipped with landing gear so that it can land. 10% of planes aren't equipped with this, and are still circling the globe to this day. Old decommissioned planes are often mummified for proper preservation at museums, historical societies, and to showcase at end credits extravaganzas. Eventually, their corpses will be removed from this casing and ground down to be made into Air Jordan sneakers, hence the name. Ah dear, someone forgot to wipe the blur off of this side of the plane. I wonder if it's the same blur Custard applies to his hats. The final two products in the aluminum special are aluminum boats and aluminum canoes. To make an aluminum boat, they first make an aluminum canoe and add a motor. To make an aluminum canoe, they first make an aluminum boat and remove the motor. And with that, we've collected every single aluminum segment we've ever made into two convenient videos. We swear the last two segments really were that short. And we didn't just make them that short because we got bored of writing aluminum-based jokes.